Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on this great Vero question, and that is what sort of provokes or triggers a narcissist devaluing stage. In other words, what really sort of sets the relationship to go into a breakdown. In other words, you're not being able to, there's no commitment with this person, there's betrayal with this person, there's no loyalty with this person, or they show signs of unhappiness when things happen in life, like you lose a job, or something happens with your health, or someone else needs your attention, and they will act as if you're no longer sort of in the relationship the way they need it to be. And then they'll begin throwing arrows and criticizing, and oftentimes, acting very snub or ignoring of you when you attend to something that does not put them at the number one priority. The narcissist sort of always wants to be a number one priority in others' eyes, just as an empath, someone who has a lot of empathy, will oftentimes feel better about putting others first because this is a natural flow for them. This is a natural order. They like to be supportive people. They like to take their time. They can listen. They like to see people overcome things, or to feel that they are a good helper. But what about the same for you? People who've been in a relationship for some time with a narcissist oftentimes put the narcissist first so many times that they don't realize that they aren't even on the list themselves, that they don't realize or identify with their true needs. And if so, if they do, that they're not important, uninteresting, all this sort of negative self evaluation. Be careful of this. People will fall into this trap in marriages, in families, in the workplace, in their community, wherever it is you're finding this. People will find that they're really not, then there's a gap between where they want to be and where they are. So we need to reduce the gap, and then also find that where you are currently can be content and having gratitude for what you have versus seeing the deficit, seeing the positive. The narcissist will very much hone in and focus on a negative on another till the point where nothing else is able to be solidified or validated as positive. So they'll really sort of throw away a baby with the bathwater. I'm not even sure what that means, but they really will not give others a chance, a shot, an opportunity. They just sort of try to be very decisive, and then, in other words, there's nothing you can do. And oftentimes, it's not based on any true flaw. You might have, found yourself working very hard to appease a narcissist, and then to some degree, you might have had to lie to yourself or not want to hear the truth. In other words, they will get over this. They will get over that. They will eventually be able to commit. They will eventually be this and this. So there's all these sort of future forecasting, and you have to look at where is reality and where is the current climate, and then what is the positive, especially as it feels for you. You are not boring. You are not uninteresting. So what if you made a mistake? So what if you quoted something wrong? So what if you burned the dinner? These type of things, they begin to add up to a narcissist, and then they begin to only focus on that, and then their reticular activating system just naturally they become like a glue for negativity about others, and they're very resistive to the positive and seeing the others as positive and being able to live and cohabitate that same space. And this is purely a power play for them. So once you realize the utilitarian aspect for them, a lot of people don't like to be feeling that that's all that they are, that they're sentient, they're not just sort of some stepping stone, that they are there for presence and sharing in the journey, and then that sort of bonding where you can, when people can feel good, there's a sense of bonding. That really begins to be very fragile in a relationship with a narcissist or psychopath, meaning it can be very contingent on specific conditions. That if the narcissist is on their rant, or they feel that they only need to associate with certain high level people, and you're not one of them. You're going to get the rebuke, the rebuff. You're going to always reminded that you, for some reason, in their eyes, how they, and so you have to sort of step away from that negative mirror and realize that oftentimes their mirror and reflection of you is far from the truth. In fact, the narcissist oftentimes doesn't really know others. They might not really know you, and that is not your fault. It's not that you have to try harder, be more impressive to them. That oftentimes does not work. In fact, it usually makes things worse. A narcissist will then interpret it as being pandered to or something of this nature. And so they'll, any sort of positive or genuine, is condescending, so you can never really win. So realizing then your feel-good state is based on a specific measurable result. In other words, if you're still in that unhappy mode, where is the gap? Where is the gap between where you want to be and where you are? And then how can you move into that right now? In other words, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to start an exercise regime. I'm sick and tired of being alone all the time. I'm going to go out and meet people. It doesn't mean I have to get, engaged by 6 p.m. tonight, but at least I can, begin to open up and become aware of the baby steps, and then being able to calibrate so that you're safe and protected. And then you can acknowledge that even after you've perhaps been laden with all sorts of negative adjectives about yourself, that oftentimes those are, gone with the wind, and they're gone with that person. So you really have to look at settling down, calming down, and then knowing what is accomplishment or a goal or a feeling state for you, and what is energizing, and not being fearful of feeling good. And then being, realizing that when you can feel good with others, then it's safer to bond. I think it's that oftentimes does not occur in a narcissist relationship because they tend to keep others under a lot of pressure or tension. Meaning, you have to be a little better, a little better, a little better. And then people get tired, they're not able to kind of keep up with that. They have to have an internal or intrinsic motivation versus an extrinsic motivation. And, we can talk more about that. That's a great psychology term. But intrinsic motivation, which means you're doing it just for the enjoyment of it. You might like to look out on a lake just for the enjoyment of it. That's intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation means I have to work to get that award. I have to work, and then that can become either motivating, but it can also be responsible for a lot of hardship and depression and anxiety, feeling that you didn't measure up. So make sure that you're sort of setting your own measuring stick, your own goals for yourself. And what is that? And where can that take you? Because that is very important, because it'll take you in the direction of your happiness, your dreams, your content, and your learning. Or you can then understand what takes you in a wrong direction. It's okay to not be alarmed and say, okay, that was a wrong direction. This is better now. And then to be able to change and be flexible. Even if the narcissist couldn't change with you, it is okay to change on your own and be the stronger and the improve for it, especially as it remains a real permanent part of yourself, that I am okay. I am happy. If that can be a permanent part of yourself instead of the shame, what kind of energy would that give you today? It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Have a beautiful and blessed day.